Wow!
My friends, Gary Gills, and fellow poets, welcome back to Conversing with Poets. Hello, everybody. Hello, Kieran. Hello, Justin. Hello, Danny. Hello, Genevieve. Hello, Dazzle. Hello, Class. Hello, Nightbot. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Lotus. How you doing? Hello, Justin. Did I say Justin? And Kieran. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. YouTube have changed the streaming dashboard and it's massive, and now I can't see what I need to see. So thanks, YouTube. But if you're watching and you haven't hit that like button, I have found it. We've only got 2 likes on this video so far, so do smash that like button if you enjoy these streams. I'd really, really appreciate it. It's gone up to 3. Thank you so much. What are we up to, guys? How have our weekends been so far? Only 1 like, and that's me. Don't forget to press that like button. Thank you, Class. Hey, I liked. Thank you very much, Justin. And I had an emoji waiting there for everybody. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversing with Poets. Tonight, we only have the 1 topic so far, but hopefully we'll get through it anyway. We got plenty of news articles thanks to Danny, and we also are launching our channel Discord, which was promised last week. We're still finding out some teething problems. We're still trying to smooth some things out, but for the most part it's ready to go. Hopefully you can't hear the little ding, Discord ding in the background. I'm assuming that the mic cuts it out because it does such a good job of cutting out background noise. And Nightbot is back. Yes, you inspired me by bringing Nightbot into Discord, so I missed Nightbot. I thought he's been in the naughty corner long enough. He's been in the naughty darkness long enough. Let's see if he can behave himself again. So we'll see. Happy Sunday. It's terribly cold here, very windy. Hi, Tanya. Welcome to the stream. It's terribly cold there. It's not too bad here. It's not the warmest, but it's not too cold just, yeah. Sweet. Discord is fun. Adam broke it basically after all. I didn't break it, I don't think. I can't really honestly answer that question because I know nothing about Discord, so I don't know if it's running smoothly. I don't know if it's broken. I'm completely ignorant to everything. But can we please just get a big thank you to Danny for spending the time to set up a Discord, and of course, spending the time to find us some news articles today whilst I got some R&R. I am very much in need of some rest. Very unusual for here. But yeah, let's show Danny lots of love in the chat for setting up a Discord channel for us and finding some news articles for us today as well. So lots of Gary Gold love for that. Okay, so at what point do we share the link? At what point do we launch the Discord server and do we start getting people in? I don't know. Should we do it before or after the poetry challenge? Hmm. If you don't know what I mean by poetry challenge, I've been signed. Why have I been signed out of the mod stream card? That's not good. If you don't know what I'm talking about in terms of poetry challenge, every stream I set a prompt for the following stream. And last week I set the prompt of the night I saw the sleigh, the very sleigh, whatever that means. The night I saw the sleigh. Poetry challenge prompt, the night I saw the sleigh. Yes, thank you very much. After the poetry challenge. All right, so we're going to hang on a little bit longer. We're going to build up that suspense. Yay to Danny. We're going to build up that suspense. And we'll give it a few more minutes for people to drop in. And then we will do a news bulletin or we'll do our news bulletin section. As always, if you haven't hit that like button, please do hit that like button. In front of me, it says we got 10 viewers and only 5 likes. So there are 5 of you who haven't yet hit that like button. If you could, I would really appreciate it. Hopefully you drop the Discord link before I have to leave around an hour and 10 minutes. Oh yes, we will definitely drop the link before then for sure. For sure. Am I back in the thing? Yeah, I'm back in. So, tonight we're going to be talking about poetry of image and how poetry lends itself to image. And we also have, what else do we have coming up? We also have the next week's poetry prompt challenge, but I won't tell you that just yet because I don't want to confuse things. Because there may be people out there quickly trying to catch up from last week's prompt, which is the night I saw the sleigh. And we'll get those poems in 3 minutes. Everyone's got 3 minutes. So if you're writing, uh, no pressure, but a little bit of pressure. And if you're not writing, if you've already got your poem planned, let me know how your weekend has been and what you've been up to. And in the meantime, I will sing for you. No, I won't. No, I won't. I don't want to lose subscribers. We're getting very, very close to Christmas, folks. And I think actually on next stream, I'm going to be working Christmas Eve, so I won't be able to stream Christmas Eve like I have done in the previous years. But our next stream on the 21st will be a holiday stream. Will be our Christmas special. We just won't be able to track Santa, which is one of my favorite things to do on our Christmas live streams. But we won't be able to do that. All right, 1 minute left if you're writing your poem based on the night I saw the sleigh. Talking of Christmas, that channel member emoji that I've just put in the chat kind of looks like the Home Alone poster. Yeah, that's fine, guys. Thank you, guys. Least I could do while I've been off work with my tendonitis, which is pretty much healed. Nice, nice. Okay, I'm gonna write one really quick, but it's gonna be silly. Hey, we always want silly. We're always looking for silly. We're always looking for silly. You have been healed. Danny has been healed. I don't know what that emoji is, but that's like a healing hand, I guess. Hello, a poet. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're jumping straight in with our poetry prompt challenge. So I'm going to I'll give it 1 more minute. I'll give it until, oh, it's just turned 11 minutes past. I'll give it until 12 minutes past. I'll give it 1 more minute just for people to get in and get their poetry prompt challenge poem ready to go in the chat. I do know how to talk. Or do I? Most of the time I do not. And if you follow me enough, you that's not even a surprise to you. No, actually, Adam Gary does not know how to talk. I literally fell asleep and had a nice little nap, and then woke up was like, oh my goodness, I need to stream, and quickly ran in and set up. and set up for the stream. Prayers. No, we got you. We got you. Yeah. I was up until 1 o'clock doing work, but I think I'm finally done, guys. I think I'm finally done work-wise, and I can finally switch off. We'll see. We all know that's almost impossible for me to do, right? All right, it is now twive. It is now 12 minutes past the hour. It is now 12 minutes past the hour. So, if you have a poem based on last week's prompt, The Night I Saw the Sleigh, this is your opportunity to throw it into the chat. Please throw your poems into the chat right now so we can read them, and then we'll move on to our news bulletin section for the stream. And I will put my nice Adam Gary Poetry channel merch on, which is available on my website, adamgary.co.uk. Although I don't have the blonde streak anymore and my hair's grown out again, so we might need to get some updated merch. By the way, our Discord has Harry emojis. And if you don't know who Harry is, he's my dog. He's my dog. And we have Harry emojis over on the Discord server. All right, we got some poems in already. So, Tanya, the night I saw the sleigh, walking home from the local pub, bag in hand with my favorite bottle, I rounded the corner. I was blinded by a red nose. I dropped to my knees in the snow. I rubbed my eyes in. To be continued. Don't forget, guys, you only have something like 200 characters in the live chat box. Genevieve's poem. It could not have gone any other way. It had to happen on this day. Seen just after midnight, it was quite a bright sight. It was the night I saw the sleigh. Yes, Genevieve. Nice. Good job. Good job. Can confirm the Harry emojis are adorable. Yes, they are. All right. Any more? I'll give it a couple more minutes to see if any more poems come in. Harry Gary. Disbelief. Okay, let me read from the start. All right, Tanya's. The night I saw the sleigh walking home from the local pub, bag in hand with my favorite bottle, I rounded the corner. I was blinded by a red nose. I dropped to my knees in the snow. I rubbed my eyes in disbelief, looking at the bag in hand. I quickly opened the bottle, threw my head back, quickly drinking my favorite bottle, emptying the warm liquid. Fortunately, after I finished, the red nose flickered. Off went the sleigh in the night. Nice, thank you very much. Oh no, Nightbot is up to his old tricks. Let me just see what we got here. Uh, I don't understand. This is why Nightbot got put in the naughty corner because he's deleting things that there's no need to delete them. So, Justin says, poem, poor little guy toting his bag. Poor little guy toting his bags, clothes ripped, torn, basically rags, standing alone in a forlorn daze, eyes of ice in his frozen gaze. His lips crack open as he starts to smile. He sees the sleigh. I ran out of room. Coming over for a mile. What? What's going on? Ah, this is annoying. Sorry, that was probably not very nice to listen to. I don't understand why Nightbot suddenly starts doing this. Obviously, I've done something wrong, but I'm going to have to find time to look into it. For now, I'll take Nightbot off. Or we're just going to have to find a Nightbot alternative. I think Genevieve did, but Nightbot was like the main one that came back, so... Wait, you turned Nightbot on again without trying to find what the problem was last time? Yeah, I thought it might have, because it was working fine, and then all I did was take one word out of. I took a word out of the banned words, and now he's doing this. So there's no reason for it to be doing this. Off with Nightbot's head. Yep, he's gone. I've taken him off. He's gone. He's gone already. Hopefully, Nightbot 2.0, the Discord version, will be a little more sane. A little more sane. But Nightbot's gone. Nightbot's gone. All right, let's move over to our breaking news section. Breaking news. All right, so we have the King's Medal has been given this year. We have a new recipient, FML. A man living in Wymondum, who is originally from Hungary, has received royal recognition for his poems after learning English as a second language. George Surtees arrived in England, quote, penniless in 1956 with his family when he was just 8 to escape the Hungarian Revolution. Having to learn English as a second language, Mr. Surtees then went on to publish his first book at the age of 29. The 77-year-old is also a renowned translator. Recently has been chosen as one of 2 people to translate work of the latest Nobel Prize winner for literature, Laszlo Krasznahorkai, into English. Sorry, every stream I end up being faced with a name that I can only butcher. I would only ever butcher, so I apologize for that. After travelling to Buckingham Palace to receive the King's Medal, Gold Medal for Poetry, Mr. Surtees described the recognition, which was announced in 2024 as, quote, an extraordinarily great honour. I felt His Majesty was genuinely nice, and there was a warmth to our conversation. We spoke for about 10 minutes, and he said how he was very fond of Hungary. So there you go. Again, I won't read the whole article. I'll let you read the vast majority of it if you so choose. What revolts once more did we learn from last time? There you go. I do enjoy these news headlines, so do keep them coming while I'm in this section. All right, blue plaque to be unveiled by Guernsey artist. A blue plaque to honour the life of a gay artist and poet is set to be unveiled later in Guernsey. David Robiliard, born on the island in 1952, had his artwork displayed in both national and international gallery collections, including the Tate Modern. The artist moved to London in 1975 to pursue a career in poetry and had his first poetry book and exhibition in 1984, which the state's sorry, not quote, which the state's Culture and Heritage Department said subsequently saw David's career thrive. His plaque is due to be unveiled at the bottom of Clifton Steps, Market Square. And again, I'll let you read the rest of that. So congratulations to both those two poets in our new section so far. And now we have a new young poet being unveiled. A talented young writer from a rugby secondary school has been crowned as Warwickshire's new Young Poet Laureate. Naomi M. Hang on, 1 second. Naomi Mba from Avon Valley School has been named the 11th Warwickshire Young Poet Laureate, with judges praising her imaginative writing, assured stage presence, and exciting ideas for championing poetry throughout the county. She won out following a selection. She won out following a selection day at Rugby Library, which saw 6 finalists come together for an inspiring celebration of poetry. So, congratulations to a third poet today. There's lots going on. I'm just opening the next one. Ode to Reading and Memorizing Poems. I think we've already covered this. Let me just check. I think this one might. I know it's only just been published on this website, but this rings a bell. So this next one is Ode to Reading and Memorizing Poems. A month before COVID struck, I took a course in writing poetry. I chose poetry for the same reason I might have chosen opera singing or screen printing. It was a subject, excuse me, sorry. It was a subject I knew nothing about and in which I'd feel no pressure to excel. I'm just trying to get to the bit. If you make late, it's greater than mine, happen to sight. I'm just during this period, as during many in my life, I suffered from insomnia. During a recent bout, I discovered an off label use for the poems I'd memorized. Rather than lie in bed and worry about my mother, my children, the world, I began to recite the poems I'd memorized silently, as you would a mantra. Half asleep, I couldn't remember many phrases, but by the second time I went through a poem, the missing words emerged the way images do when you're developing a photograph. It was thrilling, but also strangely calming. By the fourth stanza of any poem, I was usually asleep. So there you go. If you, like me, you suffer from insomnia, memorize some poetry and try and go over that. And apparently, by the fourth go around, you may be asleep. So who would have thought? See, this is why I love poetry so much. Poetry has so many great uses. So there you go. Poetry to combat insomnia. Let me just catch up on chat. I did get link happy. That's okay. No, it's good. Hi, Pumpkin. Hi, Genevieve. Hi, Pumpkin. Sorry, I didn't see you jump in there. Hello, everyone. Good day to all of you. Hi, Pumpkin lover. Great to have you here. We're just going through our news section. I like that. I'll try it. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That totally ties into studies about doing some light mental activity when you struggle to sleep. Yeah, see, I just pop the laptop on and just go back to work. Of course I do. But there you go. Memorize some poetry and try and recite it, and you all fall asleep. sort of like the idea of counting sheep. Yeah, I guess it's pretty similar to that, right? I guess it's very much similar to that. All right, our next headline is Albuquerque author Karen Stangl gears poetry books towards middle school readers. Albuquerque resident Karen Stengel said her two recent poetry books are aimed at middle school readers, but one could argue that the silliness of the stories and the art makes them appropriate for elementary grade readers. Pickle Picnic Adventure, as a title, I guess, is about a pickle named Pickle. Makes sense. Who's in a pickle, so to speak. Is about a pickle named Pickle who is in a pickle, so to speak, from the get-go. There once was a pickle who lived in a jar, squeezed in with 12 others. He couldn't move far. Naturally, Pickle wants out. His wish eventually comes true. The poet describes the book as an adventure story in which there are three small stuffed animal friends. So, there you go. Poetry about pickles aimed at middle schoolers. And then finally, our last headline for today would be from the National Poetry Centre. Oh, it's launched. I didn't know it had even launched. Excellent. Okay. This is news to me. Their website is up and running now. That's cool. We're spreading the word about Tower Poetry's grant program for schools. The scheme offers primary and secondary school grants up to £500 to further the understanding, enjoyment, and teaching of poetry in English. So lots of grants going out to schools here in the UK, but that's really great to know that the National Poetry Centre is up and running. I'm just going to do some off-the-cuff exploration right now. I didn't know that this was up and running. So is it open? I'll have to do some digging later. But that is our breaking news for this stream.
Wow.
I suppose I am blocked, so I will leave. No, you're back. It's just Nightbot being ridiculous. I thought maybe that there was. I don't understand what went wrong. Everything was going fine until I took a word out of the banned words section, and then Nightbot just started timing people out for not using any bad language at all. So I guess Nightbot has permanently been retired as of today, I guess. All right, so we are here because we're going to launch a Discord server. As I said at the start of the stream, Danny has spent about a week or so, I'm just going to move the camera down a bit, about a week or so building up a Discord server for us all to enjoy. So I'm assuming that Danny will know how to get you guys into the Discord server because I have no idea about Discord or anything like that. So I think if I do this, invite to server, or send a server invite link there, copy, I think I can try finding a daybot. Yeah, that's what I need. Very good class. I think I've just sent a link in the chat box to our new Discord server. So do come over and say hello. We got lots of different threads over there. We've got a thread called Conversing with Poets. All that means is it's literally just a thread to talk about poetry, really. I just thought I'd call it Conversing with Poets, but it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with our streams. It's just a way of saying poetry chat. We also have a general chat where everyone can just talk about anything they want to talk about. We have a write along thread where we can start writing poems together. I've already started it off, so if you want to follow me, please do. There is an opening line in there already. You know me well enough by now. You know that I love paranormal. and I love ghosts and stuff like that. So we have a paranormal chat thread for us all to talk about spooky, scary stuff. And then we have a channel members thread as well for those of you who are channel members. So yeah, that's our Discord. I can see some of you dropping in already. I can see Class is here, Ghost of a Goddess is here. So hello guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. I'm gonna give you guys waves apparently. Apparently that's a wave if you're in Discord right now. Doesn't look like a wave to me. Looks like someone freaking out. But there you go. So welcome to the Discord, everybody. And I'll also leave the link as a pinned comment down below if you're watching playback. I have to leave now, but I'm already in the server and I'll check it out later today. No worries, a poet. Welcome to the Discord. Thank you so much. I have no clue what Discord is. You're not the only one, Pumpkin, because neither do I. I don't really understand Discord, but it's a cool little chat room type app thing. Maybe someone can do a better job of actually describing what Discord is. But I know a lot of people enjoy Discord, and it's a way for us to stay in communication while I'm not streaming. So yeah. Nice. I'm back here on YouTube. I'm on my phone. No problem. How do I get to this Discord place? So, the link I've just put in the chat should take you to our server, and then somewhere it might invite you to create a profile or something like that. Hopefully, I'm just going to wipe that webcam there. I can see it's a bit fuzzy. It's kind of like Telegram. I don't really know what Telegram is either. You wouldn't think I'm so technically illiterate, if you like. Honestly, don't know how to describe it. Yeah, it's just like a online chat room with different rooms, I guess. Just as I say, it's just as a way for us to kind of stay in communication. It's like a live chat box while I'm not live, if you want to describe it as that, I guess. Hopefully I did a good enough job describing that. But yeah, the Discord channel is officially live. Is it here on YouTube if I click that link? It is separate from YouTube. Yeah, it's a different I don't know if you can I don't know if you describe it as a social media. Is it social media? I'm not sure. I know it from gaming, so I wouldn't know how to describe it. But yes, it's basically a big group chat. Discord has different channels. With each channel you can have a topic. With those topics you can have discussions. Yeah, exactly. You got it. You got it. Like a hotel, but the rooms are different topics. That's a very interesting way of describing it. Like a hotel, but the rooms are different topics. There is a Discord app on your phone, or you can use the website. Yeah, I personally use the website. You need to have a Discord account to connect with a link. Yeah. Oh, okay. So the link might not work if you don't already have an account. Excuse me. Thanks, class. All right, so let's talk about our topic for this evening. Uh, which is poetry of image. Now, I do have a article here called The Poetry of Word and Image. Currently on show at the George Eastman Museum, The Bite in the Ribbon, a paper show, is made up of four distinct but similar series of work from contemporary artist Erica Baum. Baum? Why am I so bad at names? Baum is a photo artist from New York, known for finding art and poetry in everyday objects. Awesome. That's what we should be doing as poets. We should be finding art and poetry in everything, in everyday objects. in the smallest minute things in this world. Beginning in the 1990s, her work has featured photographs of chalkboards, literary card catalogue drawers, stipple-edged paperbacks, and newspaper articles. Her tone often contains a sense of humour, juxtaposed with poignant observation and appreciation for things typically overlooked. Quote, I love the way in which Stein takes words and they become almost like objects, end quote, she says. That's a lot of what I'm doing. I'm taking words and allowing them to have life that they don't necessarily always have in their original format. I love a bite in the ribbon because that's like a typewriter, but it's also like silk, which ties into the content of the work. It's an immersion in paper and its tactile qualities. So a really long article here, and it's really interesting. But it kind of just made me think about, and maybe we've talked about something similar before. You do need an account, fortunately, yes. Uh, Copy and save the link until you have a Discord account. Yeah, I'll put it in a pinned comment underneath the playback for you to come back to. Yes, yes, that's exactly what it's like, Pumpkin. And it just got me thinking about imagery in poetry and poetry in imagery, I suppose, as well. In one of my hubs the last couple of weeks, we've been looking at Robert Frost's. Oh gosh, I've forgotten the title of it now. Snowy Woods. I stopping by Snowy Woods. Hang on, Robert Frost. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening, and it paints such a lovely picture. You can almost hear it as well. I don't know if did we talk about this on stream already? I'm not sure. You can almost hear it, if that makes sense, in its silence. It talks about snowy woods. I think that's the first one, right? It talks about snowy woods, and it just really paints a great image, and it's really sensory, at least to me anyway. So I wanted to talk about poems that do that, poems that use image, when poems that can use vivid imagery, even though we're working with words, we're not working with images. And I thought I'd throw that to the group and see what the group had to say about that. And should all poems aim to do that or not? What do you think? I'm just throwing it to you guys. What do you guys think? Should all poems be good at painting images or not necessarily? And should all images and paintings have some element of poetry to them? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just asking you guys. What do you think, guys? Help me out here. Help me form an opinion. I think they should paint a picture in your mind. I love imagery rich poetry. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a poem that specifically comes to mind? Is there one that you think is really, really good at painting images? I personally like to paint my poetry. I love that. Do you mean literally, or do you mean what do you mean by that? I personally like to paint my poetry. Do you write a poem and then paint it, or do you just mean that you like to write poems in a way that paints an image? Sorry, I'm just getting all these beeps in the background from Discord, and I've just seen Bruno's put like a Simpsons gif. It's kind of creepy, but it made me laugh. Dylan Thomas, his poem about October comes to mind. Nice. Yeah, Dylan Thomas definitely has a way with words, right? To write with rich imagery. Yeah, for sure. Just trying to think of. Oh dear, I'm not off. I'm not doing well today. Last stream we didn't have a single one, I don't think. I'm just trying to think of one for me. It's got like really rich imagery. In fact, it was another one that we read this week. It was the last week of Poetry Hubs for the laureateship this week, and the last poem we read was Death to the Century, or Deathbed of a Century by Thomas Hardy. That was the original title. Can't remember what the title got changed to now. It's a Christmas poem, and if you just read it through once without really taking it in, you'd think it's a very depressing poem. And it can easily be seen that way, but there's a hint of hope after the turning point, after the midway point of the poem. But that poem is very sensory. Words and images naturally go together. Creativity, stories, we dream in image, and words create speech. I love that, Lotus. Yeah, absolutely. Class, I agree. If you have not checked out Dylan Thomas, check him out if you wish. What did Class say? Class says, yes, you had like six yawns last week. Did I? Excuse me. Did I have six? Oh, I obviously didn't keep count then. Cheeky, cheeky. The count was at 0 when I logged in, so I obviously didn't keep count last week. Yes, the reader should be able to paint the image in their mind of what the poet is expressing. For instance, using the Christmas theme, the night before Christmas. Yes, 'twas the night before Christmas. I was gonna post that the other day actually, but it's too long in a caption. And his poem, especially when the November wind, but not fluffy overdone words. I like to be precise and direct. Yeah, that's really important in poetry. You should always try and be as concise as possible, unless there's a real reason why you're not. So Dylan Thomas's most famous poem is "Rage Against the Dying of the Light." The villanelle rage, rage against the dying of the light. Yes, class. Sometimes short and punchy is best. Absolutely, 100%. I'm just trying to like play devil's advocate. I wonder if are there any examples when you shouldn't use imagery in poetry? I don't know. I think that's a dumb question. Maybe, maybe not. Is there, are there any examples where imagery gets in the way of things? Are there any examples of where imagery gets in the way of things in terms of poetry? don't know. I don't know if that might be a silly question. I don't know if imagery can. I suppose the only time maybe I would say imagery can get in the way of things is if you're trying to make a very clear point, and it would be more powerful to be absolutely totally direct with that point and not kind of shroud it in some um, imaginative scene or imaginative. I don't know. I don't think so, but just my opinion. Yeah, I think it can only ever add to it, right? But I do, unless you're trying to make a very clear point, and that point would be more powerful if you just came out and said it. But even then, I think you could probably still do that using imagery, an image. I'm just trying to play both sides and see both sides. But just my opinion. By the way, if you haven't already, please do hit that like button. I'd really, really appreciate it. I feel poetry invites imagery and vice versa. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Questionable. 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 9 likes and 7 watching. Not bad. Nice. My dashboard has completely changed. They must be doing some update, but it's not as good as it was before. So, uh, yeah, I can't see it like I could before because everything's gotten bigger. So now it doesn't all fit on the same screen. Explicit, ghastly writing. For instance, the sounds of the whip tearing, ripping away the flesh. A friend was talking about the Passion of Christ movie. That's how she describes scenes. It's not poetry, but gives the same image. Explicit, ghastly writing. For instance, the sounds of the whip tearing, ripping away the flesh. A friend was talking about the Passion of Christ movie. That's how she describes scenes. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's not poetry, but gives the same thing. Yeah, it still sort of plays to the sensations, right? And I was just thinking, I was just looking up because I forgot. There's a poetry form called ekphrastic, which is literally poetry about art, poetry about imagery. Um, so there is a world where it's all very much connected, right? I think you like philosophy. Yeah, do you know what? I haven't delved into philosophy for a long time, but I do think being a poet, as a poet, um, naturally you have an element of being a philosopher, right? I think they're very closely related because as creatives anyway, don't we naturally sort of think about philosophy? Don't we think about the way the world runs and um channel that through poetry? I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm talking a load of nonsense tonight, but I've always thought of uh poets and philosophers being close cousins, and a lot of poets kind of channel that through their poetry, their worldview through their poetry. I feel like there has often been a connection between the two. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes the images you are trying to bring to life in a poem is hard to do. Sometimes the image you are trying to bring to life in a poem is hard to do. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not easy to find appropriate adjectives and the likes that describe the emotion you're trying to convey. Yeah, absolutely. And then on top of all of that, you might go, "Oh my goodness, I have found it. I have found the perfect image to use in my poetry." And then on top of that, you got to make sure that it's an original and it's novel, right? Because that's what stands out when people are reading poetry, especially scholars, especially people who really know their stuff, who read a lot of poetry. They're likely going to go, "Oh, I've that's nice, but I've seen that before. Oh, that's nice, but I've read that in so and so. That reminds me of so and so and so and so." So, on top of spending all that time trying to find great imagery, trying to, find a great image that conveys exactly what you want to say and the emotion you want to get across, you then have to do it in a way that's novel and unique and original. And yeah, it's not easy by any means. Not easy by any means. But I think imagery is definitely a really important aspect of writing poetry. And who knows, maybe keep writing maybe set yourself a goal or something. Set yourself a goal of writing an ekphrastic every week, and then you have to really laser in and really focus on literally a painting, literally art, literally images, and may help that may help sharpen the tools, right? Except in the case of literally exactly copying something, unless super intentional. It's insightful. Devil's advocate question though, is there anything actually original? This is true. I don't mean that negatively. No, I know. But to some degree, hasn't it all already been done? 100%. Though I don't worry too much about that. Yeah, 100%. But um in many ways I find new English speakers writers have an authentic way of writing. You're absolutely true, Genevieve, and you can't escape that, I suppose. But you can try and be as novel and as original as possible. You know, I remember, I remember when I first started writing poetry, and I wrote a love poem, and I rhymed love with dove, and I thought, brilliant. But it wasn't as I kept reading poetry, I realized that that's a very common rhyme scheme, and I know that's different to imagery, but I'm just, you know, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm not firing on all cylinders tonight. Nothing new, but also only you can write what you see, right, understand. Absolutely. I agree, class. The only thing new is the way it is presented. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. On the flip side, literally Literally, only you can write what you. No, that's, yeah, of course. Only you can write a poem from your point of view. You can't hear the sound? Um, it says my mic levels are good. It says that the mic is coming through. Did you maybe accidentally hit M if you're on a computer or laptop? I think that's a shortcut for mute, maybe? I can't hear this anymore. He's talking, but I cannot hear him. It is not muted on my end. I'm not sure. I think we're going to wrap up the stream there anyway. I am going to go and get into bed and have some sleepy sleepies. Um, the prompt for next week, guys, is footsteps in snow. The prompt for next week's stream is footsteps in snow. We are going to have a Christmas special. We are going to have a holiday stream. As I say, the only thing we can't do is track Santa, but I'll try and figure out other things that we can do instead to make up for it. Again, I'll share the link for our Discord server, and I'll also leave it as a pinned comment underneath the stream too. So that is the Discord link. Do come and say hello. As I said, Danny has worked very, very hard on it. And I hope you enjoy it. It's a way of us staying in contact and sharing paranormal stories. I think that's what I'm most looking forward to. Anyway, there is a write along thread where there will always be a write along happening because I know you guys love that. So if you want to contribute to that, I have already started the poem off. And yeah, I'll see you this time next week. Thank you so much, Gary Goals, and happy writing. Go well.
Wow.